I wanted to do a behind the scenes look at my new incentive program for this year so you could see what's all going on and I could show you firsthand. This year I decided to go Hollywood. We had so much fun at our Let's Go Movies camp this summer that I wanted to do a Hollywood theme. I did a movie theme way back, probably a good 9-10 years ago, and I thought, you know, it's been a long time, and one of my favorite recitals was a movie themed recital. I had so much fun with that, so I thought I would do it again, but this time I totally revamped the theme and did something completely different with it than I did years ago. So our theme this year is You're a Star. And I just quickly made this book. This is the student workbook. If you have a binder machine, you can just bind it yourself, or you can take it to the printers. I will probably end up just taking it to the printers just to save a lot more on ink. But you can definitely, or you could just put it in a 3-ring binder. Whatever is convenient for you, you can put their books together. So what I am going to have them do is just write their name right in the middle of the star. So this is the cover of their book, and then their name will go right there. This is the Hollywood Walk of Fame star. So inside their book, the very first page is the description of the program and what is expected from them. This year, I really wanted to focus on 2 things, much more than going outside of how many days they practice. I'm not even worrying about that with this program. I'm not worrying about at all the quantity of practice, of how many days they do. We still keep track of that for other reasons in my studio, but for the focus of the incentive program, that's not going to be anything I even consider. I want to focus more on the quality of practice. And so the 2 things that the goal that I want from this program is for students to really be focused and practice with purpose. And so I want them to come back to lessons and show me exactly how they did that, how they practiced with purpose. And so that's the first goal out of this program. And so I used STAR, the acronyms from the word STAR, as steps that they could take at home to show me that they did purposeful practice. And then the second thing I really wanted to concentrate on is to get my students a little bit more out of the box with their playing. And so I have creative challenges that we're going to be doing as well. So how this works is, like I said, it goes by an acronym. So I explain the acronyms and what is expected at home. So they have 4 things that they're looking and doing at home. And then when they come to lessons, they're going to be passing off a star. If they did all 4 things, and they could prove that they did all 4 things, and some of them are written things that they do, and some of them might be recording, things like that, then they'll earn a star. And we color. On the next page is the star chart. Just continuing with the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So they just color one of these stars. And so they're going to, we'll just start, you could start really wherever, it's up to you. I'm going to just start right here, going clockwise. So they just color in a star, and then they come back the next week. If they do all 4 things, they color in another star, and so on. So there's going to be 6 progressions. I also have a poster file. I ordered my poster, and so it should be coming anytime. And the poster will be the big thing where everybody can see where each other are on the progress of the star. And so the same thing, when they get the 5 stars colored in on here on this chart, then they could put their star on the poster right here. So that's when that starts, and then they just progress. So there's 6 progressions and 5 stars that need to be done before they can progress. So this takes, if they're perfect at it, this will take a good 30 weeks, because there's 6 times 5 is 30. All right, so then, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, I forgot. Okay, so after they get their 5 stars, before they actually put their star on the chart, they are to do a creative challenge. And so I made these challenge cards that will explain exactly what the challenge is. And like I said, they're creative challenges, so I want them to be more creative and do something out of the box with their playing. So for example, this one is crisscross play. Cross your hands, right hand plays bass and left hand plays treble. So that one's actually one of the trickier ones. So just little things like that where it just gives them a little more out of the box thinking and just having fun with their music in creative ways. All right, so then if you turn the page in the workbook, another thing that I included is practice steps. Now, I have a practice step checklist available for free in my store. So what I did is I did the same thing, but with more of a Hollywood movie theme. So I did first divide your piece into 4 smaller scenes, and scenes are sections. And then I just put Act 1 is learning, Scene 1, Scene 2, and so on. So they can keep track of, this guideline will help them have a more focused practice session at home. So it's just a little tool to help them stay more focused. And then one of the other things that I'm doing that I want them to do, one of the things in the acronym, is I want them to write down practice goals. And so there's some pages in the book, looks like that, that will allow them to really think about what they want to accomplish with their pieces and what they really need to work a little bit more on. And so that's the page for practice goals, and you can, however many weeks that you want to be going through this program, at least 30 weeks, but it could go longer because students usually aren't perfect when it comes to these things. So however many weeks you want to run the program, I usually do mine mid-August through mid-April, so around there. So it's usually about 8 months total that I have it run, because December I don't see my students for regular lessons. I do Christmas camp and such. So think of holidays and things like that. So when you set your yearly calendar. And then of course included is an assignment page. And I did a couple different options on assignment pages. I did one that says lab instead of theory, and another one that says theory. And then I also did one without lines. If you prefer to do your assignment pages digitally, you can just put the PDF into the program that you do. For example, if you have PDF Escape on your iPad or something like that, you can put the PDF in there and just type their assignment page in your iPad from that app. So I have one without lines too, if that's something you prefer doing versus writing it in a book. And then the last thing I put in their student book, and this is optional, you could either have it as a separate book, or you can have it included in their student workbook. I'm going to include mine in my student workbook, and it's going to go on the very back of their workbook. And this is going to be something that they're going to use during lab time. But if you don't do lab, you could always do this, have them do it at home. But it's their music reflection journal. So again, they have their pages like that. And this is reflection cards that I have them do during their lab time. And as you can see, they have QR codes on them, and it gives them the direction to scan the QR code. So I'll have the app that I'll use. There's tons of free QR code apps. So just search for QR code apps and you'll find some for free. I have Scan Life and one other one I can't remember on my devices. They all do the same thing. So they're really easy to use. So students just scan it on the iPad or the tablet or whatever you might have, and a video will pop up. And so they'll watch the video, and some of them are just 2-3 minutes long. And then some of them are a little bit longer. But they just write in their reflection journal about what they wrote. So I might have a specific question on the card that I want them to reflect on, and then write in their journal about it. Again, I want them to just being more aware of performances, aware of motivational thoughts that might help them when they're at home practicing, and just aware of fun things, creativity and stuff. So there's a mix of different things. I did 12 of them. You don't have to use all 12. You can use however many you want. You could do one once a month, or if you want to do it for a shorter program like 6 months or something, you can do 2 a month, or sometimes 2 and sometimes 1, you know, totally up to you. But there are 12 available to have your students do. A couple other things that I included for fun that you could use is a getting to know you sheet. I always like to do these every year with my students because their answers always change, and it's always fun to see what the answers are and get to know my students a little bit more. So this is just a fun themed getting to know you sheet that they could fill out at the beginning of the year. And then I also included a practice chart. If you have students that really enjoy practice charts, I did a whole product of practice charts that are really fun. Each month has a different theme. But I also did one for You're a Star that they can fill out when they're practicing. You can also use this for a practice incentive program. So if you're doing like a practice contest or anything like that, this is perfect to use for something like that. If you want to do like a, you know, if you get your chart filled out, you can come to an ice cream party or a movie party or something like that. So I threw that in for whatever you want to use it for. I also threw in a teacher log sheet to keep track of where everybody is. Of course, your poster is going to show this as well, but it's kind of nice to have just a log that you can glance at and not sit there on the poster figuring it all out or whatever. So there's the log sheet. And then I included also a couple different options of certificates. So when they complete, you have two designs you could choose from. So one's more of a curtain design and one's has the Hollywood Walk of Fame star. And so, by the way, the poster is a Walk of Fame poster. It has the big Hollywood Walk of Fame star on it, and just like the book. Just like that. But it says Walk of Fame on the poster. Oh, I'm sorry, not Walk of Fame. Wall of Fame. It says Wall of Fame. Because, of course, they're not going to walk on it. Okay, and then when they do, I forgot to show you this, when they do go onto the Wall of Fame poster, they will have a star. Now, I have 2 versions of this. One is black and white like this one, and the other one is a colored version. I like to use the black and white for 2 reasons. One, it's cheaper, of course, to print. But the second reason is the kids could color them in. So, and then before they color it in, have them write their name right there in the middle of the star, and then they could color from there. And so this will be the thing that they will put on the poster to keep track of where they are in their progression. And I just put some little sticky tab on the back, and then it moves around nicely. And then the last thing I included was some decorations that you could put on your wall or a bulletin board. If you do a bulletin board, I would recommend printing, because these print pretty big. I have this, and there's just, you know, you could kind of see some things that you can use as your decoration. If you want to print them more for a bulletin board, just print 2 pages per print, if that makes any sense. So it's basically going to cut 50 is going to scale them down to 50% because you're fitting 2 pages into 1 print. So figure it out on your printer, but that's just a little tip there. And the other decoration that I made was a You're a Star banner. And so each of these are going to have, you can have it, the beginning has just a plain, and then this is the end of it, but it'll spell You're a Star on it. And you can just do a little hole punch on each of the ends and thread string or ribbon or whatever you want and hang it up and just have fun decoration. And then the last thing is I also included birthday treat toppers and student of the month treat toppers, and I like to use these. They're really easy. Here's the birthday one. You can write a little message on the top and bottom if you want, and I put a little pixie stick on this one and a pencil on that one, so they can choose between the pixie stick or pencil, or you could put a candy stick in there, anything that's pretty much like a straight thing. And I did one for student of the month too. It says star student on it, so you can do that as well. And that is the You're a Star program this year. I'm really excited at the possibilities this year. I'm really excited to see my students really progress in their music by having a more focused and purposeful piano practice at home. And I hope your students will enjoy You're a Star as well. And I'd love to hear about it. I love it when teachers share what they've done in their studio and share pictures and comments and things like that in their studio. And if you're interested in taking this further, and you haven't done the Let's Go to the Movies camp, it works perfectly along with this program. You could do it during the summer, or you could do it even at Christmas time. You could throw a little Christmas spin to it if you want. It's not, I don't have a Christmas spin in it, but it'd be easy to do a Christmas spin with it. Very easy to do a Christmas spin in it. So I like doing Christmas camps as well. So hope that helps, gives you the behind the scenes look, and have fun with the You're a Star program. Thanks. Bye.